to turn today's call over to Mr. John Ladd. Sir, you may begin.
Thank you very much, and thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody joining us this afternoon for our webinar to discuss some plans and exciting events around National Apprenticeship Week. Today's webinar is really meant to help provide resources to you in planning your National Apprenticeship Week activities. And so we have a great panel and a great set of resources lined up for you today. If we go to the next slide, please. So with us today we have Deputy Assistant Secretary Eric Selznow, myself, and Zach Bourne on the Office of Apprenticeship team. And we're going to walk you through what really is a historic moment here as we get ready to celebrate the first ever National Apprenticeship Week during the week. So what we hope you will take away from our session here this afternoon is we want to make sure everybody knows some key facts about National Apprenticeship Week. We hope you get a little inspiration from our leaders, which are our leaders of excellence in apprenticeship development, education, and research, our champions, our advocates for apprenticeship across the country. And you'll see some great ideas that they're going to share with you today. We're going to share some resources that will help you plan for your National Apprenticeship event. And, of course, we want to hear from you and take time for questions and have an opportunity for you all to share some of your plans and ideas for National Apprenticeship Week. So we have a full agenda here for our hour, and we really hope to make this as interactive as possible. So I'm going to kick it off here, and I'm going to turn it over in a second here as we move through kind of this initial section of our agenda, giving a little bit of background about how National Apprenticeship Week came into being and some of the exciting things that have happened over the last 18 months. So with that, I'll turn it over to Deputy Assistant Secretary Eric Selznow.
Well, thanks, John. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for making the time to join us today. We're really excited, and we hope you are too. There's hundreds of people on the line with us today, and I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us on behalf of Secretary Perez and all of us here at the Department of Labor in D.C. and in your regional offices and in the states. But thanks for joining us. Look, this is a historic sort of historic occasion, if you will, and there's been a number of history-making events the last few months, a few years, I should say. The President talking about apprenticeship programs in State of the Union addresses, $175 million investment in apprenticeship grants across the country, growth in the number of apprentices to try to meet the President's challenge to double the number of apprentices, our engagement with countries all over the world talking about apprenticeship as an effective workforce strategy. So I think the time has come for apprenticeship. And the last historic piece, or I should say the next historic piece, because we'll have others, I hope, is the presidential proclamation of National Apprenticeship Week. So we're with you that we think this is a big deal, and we're very happy you could participate. And, you know, besides the history, you know, what is the purpose, right? You know, let's shine the light on apprenticeships. Let's show our case to our communities, to our other businesses, to parents, to high school counselors and teachers, to employers. You know, how important is that just to get the word out? You know, we know apprenticeship is one of the most effective learning strategies and training strategies there is. The data is compelling about it. Our friends in labor have shown that over and over again for the last 80 years. So clearly there is some incredible momentum here that we have, and what an opportunity to shine the light on a great way of pathways to great jobs and good wages, and as a Secretary Perez would say, punching your ticket to the middle class. So as you know, the President's challenged us to double the number of apprenticeships. We spent time with the Vice President, many of the folks on the phone today were with that meeting last month at the White House, the leaders meeting. We'll be introducing them shortly, but the Vice President met with all of our apprenticeship leaders, and this is a group of, gosh, I'm almost 150 now, right, John? 150 business and education and workforce leaders from across the country who are fired up about opportunities to expand and encourage apprenticeships, and they're helping us express that. And if you weren't able to see the Vice President's speech that day, it was really compelling. He's very excited about this issue. And a lot of us haven't seen him this fired up about an issue in a long time, so to see him fired up about apprenticeship was great. He gets it, he understands it, and sees this as an effective model. You know, Secretary Perez has been all around the country talking about apprenticeships. He's been all around the world for that matter. We've Switzerland, Germany, UK, Turkey, and elsewhere, you know, just trying to learn from other countries as we develop our uniquely American apprenticeship system. And, you know, he's been out to many of your facilities in North Carolina, Washington, California, Philly, and more. So, you know, the Secretary's, you know, pedal to the metal on this and is really encouraging us. And we've done so many interesting things over last year with our Registered Apprenticeship College Consortium, with our Leaders Program, with our international travels, with our site visits here in the U.S. But, you know, one of the biggest issues is, you know, as well as apprenticeship, or the other bonus, if you will, is serving underserved populations. Make sure that businesses can tap into models that can build a skilled workforce, but also ensure that we can engage more women and more minorities on the skills superhighway and good jobs and good wages. The National Apprenticeship Week idea is one that we borrowed from England. Secretary says we steal these things all the time, and we're not afraid to do so. So this is a great idea we stole from our colleagues in the United Kingdom, and you know, they have already doubled their apprenticeships, and they've had some very good strategies for doing that. So this is one, again, it's uniquely American, but having the leadership group, having a National Apprenticeship Week, shining the light on this and allowing you all the opportunity to open up your doors to the community and educate folks in your community about apprenticeships will really help us. You know, one of the challenges about apprenticeship, I think, is some of the challenges are changing the culture on it in this country, that you know, it's just for a certain type of jobs, but, you know, apprenticeship can happen in any job. There's earn and learn, training, and on-the-job training and technical instruction sort of strategy, and it works. So the National Apprenticeship Week events, lift up the value of it, share in your communities, and bring more people in and out. You know, people can do open houses, apprenticeship signing days, your mayor, your county council, your town clerk, your governor can do apprenticeship proclamations. School systems can do it. Community colleges can get involved, community-based organizations, and also workforce investment boards. So we're looking for a lot of different engagement here, and we hope as you plan your activities, you're reaching out to those communities, perhaps those you've never reached out to before, in an effort to get engagement and interest in what we're doing. Secretary would say we're trying to lead a movement here and get a movement going, and we've got a lot of catching up to do with the rest of the world, so we need to promote that and crow about it when we can. So that's enough for me. I could go on. You can tell by my excitement I could go on talking about this for at least another hour or so, but I don't think John and Zach would appreciate that. I really want to thank Sonia from AFL-CIO Building Construction Trades for being here. She helped us out at the White House a couple of weeks ago, and they've done some great work here. Richard, our good friend at Central Piedmont Community College, and certainly CPCC has sort of figured, one of the community colleges really figured out how to develop apprenticeships with some pretty significant companies. It's really helped their region and their state. We have Jennifer from Pepperidge Farms, who I think also joined us at the White House, and we're really thrilled to have you as a partner, Jennifer. Connie from the Oregon Tradeswomen, who's a tireless advocate for diversifying, and Channing at Robeson Community College. So we're interested in hearing about your plans from our speakers and getting them more engaged, and I think with that I'm just going to sit back and listen to the rest of this. Thanks for making the time to join us today, and John, I'm going to kick it back to you.
Great. Thanks, Eric. That was a great overview of some of the amazing and really historic activities that have occurred over the past 18 months. And really what we've been doing is trying to have a national conversation about apprenticeship, bring some new resources and tools to the table. And what's exciting now is that we hope to continue this conversation with the first ever historic National Apprenticeship Week being kicked off this year. Again, as Eric mentioned, this is something that other countries have done and have found to be incredibly effective for really creating a kind of a national moment and being able to have a national discussion all at the same time around apprenticeship, and most importantly, being able to showcase all the great work that's happening across the country. So this year will be that exciting historic launch of National Apprenticeship Week that we really hope becomes a movement. This is not something that we see as a one-year activity. This is going to be the inaugural year of something that we will do every year, and we hope to build on it each year and grow it each year and expand its scope and its reach. So we really hope that you join us in being part of this historic movement. What National Apprenticeship Week really does give us is really that opportunity to reinforce everything that's great about apprenticeship, the things that we know today, which again, really have been pioneered by, our friends in the labor community that have really pushed and perfected the model over 75 years, have generated some of the tremendous earning power that people have achieved through the apprenticeship model. And now we want to take those lessons and see where we can continue to expand apprenticeship into new occupations, new industries, new models, new partnerships. So it really gives us that opportunity to do both, reinforcing what's worked while kind of busting those myths and misunderstandings about registered apprenticeship today. As Eric mentioned, we really do hope that this moment really creates that tipping point that could help create a movement. The Secretary talks a lot about a skills movement, and of which apprenticeship really is a key pillar of that skills movement. The White House recently lifted up apprenticeship as the gold standard of job-driven training. And again, the message that apprenticeship works for everyone is an incredibly important component of our overall message. So it's a moment to bring everybody together, unite everybody around the potential and power of the apprenticeship model, and hopefully over time really helps to yield a movement. So we want to start getting into a little bit more detail about some of the things that we see rolling out during the week and some of the activities that we're hoping will happen locally. Ultimately, we really believe that the power and impact of this day is going to be driven by local events, regional events, statewide events. This isn't about one national event happening. This is about hundreds of events happening across the country. So that's really our focus here, is promoting you all, showcasing what you're doing, and helping to provide those resources to support you. But we have generated some ideas of things that people can think about. We're open to any idea in terms of ways to celebrate apprenticeship. But some of the things that came immediately to mind were the idea of having open houses where you can showcase your apprenticeship program, bring the community in, bring other businesses in, invite your local high school district, invite members of Congress, invite local elected officials. Really an opportunity to open up your programs and invite the community in. Business-to-business outreach events are also a key activity here. I mean, these could be breakfast. These could be, any kind of event where businesses and employers working and doing apprenticeship can talk about what the value they get from an apprenticeship and make the case to other businesses. Apprentice signing days and graduations, also a potential great event, skills competitions, and then obviously lots of social media and other promotional activities. So again, no limit to these ideas. These are just some ideas to get you thinking. So within the overall week, we're really hoping to highlight a number of themes during the week. The advantage of having a week is we really kind of get to send out some important messages that we'd like to focus on throughout the entire week. One of those messages is, of course, the idea that apprenticeship is good for businesses' bottom line, that it makes businesses more competitive, that hiring and developing a skilled workforce is important to business and industry. So we want that to be one of our key messages, and some local events that make sense around that theme are obviously the open houses, the business-to-business breakfast, and potential social media activity. We really want to generate a significant Twitter campaign around this, and we're going to talk about this more in a few moments. But we really want to start a campaign around these particular messages and get people to tweet out pictures of their events and activities for the day. The next theme we want to talk about is how apprenticeship is for innovators. And here we really want to focus on a lot of the innovative work that's happening around apprenticeships, whether it's the work that our leaders are doing, the Registered Apprenticeship College Consortia, the American Apprenticeship Grantees, and anyone else that is really developing innovative apprenticeship models. And again, a lot of the same types of local activities work here, as well as the social media piece. Next slide. We also really want to focus on how apprenticeship is a win-win, not only for employers, but obviously for workers. And this is a great opportunity for those in the labor community to showcase their state-of-the-art facilities and training centers, as well as other events where we can highlight how apprenticeship is good for workers. One of our last themes here is talking about the inclusion and diversity that Eric mentioned earlier. We'd particularly like to have a focus on women in apprenticeship this year, but we want a broad message around inclusion and diversity and the idea that apprenticeship is for everyone. So people, we're hoping, can think about activities and events that would support that overall message. And then finally, we really like to focus on the idea of the value that apprenticeship can play in providing an educational pathway for youth. The Secretary talks quite passionately about apprenticeship being college without the debt, and we'd love to be able to do events on those days that feature high schools, community colleges, and tours for students at apprenticeship training centers. So that gives you a little bit of sense of some of the themes that we hope to be rolling out that week. I'm now going to turn it over quickly to Eric and then to Zach to talk about our speakers and some of the things they're planning.
No, I just want to say, John, this is a celebratory event, right? Have a cake, have balloons, invite all your partners in your community. It's a really, I don't want to say once in a lifetime, but certainly it's just a great opportunity to promote all of those things. So make sure you got the right partners there, and really it is quite a celebration of what we do. So, John, thanks a lot for that overview.
Sure. Thank you, Eric. All right, Zach, can I turn it to you to introduce our speakers?
Sure, absolutely. So we have a number of organizations that have already keyed up and are ready to go on National Apprenticeship Week. Lots of companies and unions, community colleges, other types of organizations are going to open up their doors, really help promote the week. So we want to hear from them. So I'm first going to start out talking to Sonia Ramirez, who's with the North American Building Construction Trades, who has been doing apprenticeship. They really are the backbone of apprenticeship across the country, and they have some exciting events they'd like to talk about. Sonia, why don't we hear from you first?
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm Sonia Ramirez. I'm the Government Affairs Director for North America's Building Trades Unions. We are a collaborative of 14 international building and construction trades unions. We represent over 3 million workers in the United States and Canada. NABTU, North America's Building Trades Unions, are proud to support the first annual National Apprenticeship Week. We appreciate the leadership of the White House and the efforts of the Department of Labor in making this successful, and in joining forces and recognizing the significance that registered apprenticeship can have on the lives of working Americans. Now, the building trades, as everyone knows, has a long and strong tradition of investment in apprenticeship. In fact, our signatory contractors and our building trades unions invest over $1 billion annually in apprenticeship and journey-level training programs across the country, plus several $1 billion more in apprentice wages and benefits. Overall, 15 building trades unions maintain 1,600 training centers across the United States. In honor of National Apprenticeship Week, we are going to be encouraging all of our building trades councils across the country to coordinate open house events. These events will allow us to increase our visibility and pay tribute to the investments our unions, our workers, and our contractors make to our flagship training centers across the country. We will open our facilities to public officials, community leaders, business leaders, the media, and the general public. We have started reaching out to our councils already and assisting them in reaching these targets by working to identify local media markets, providing them with sample invites, press releases, op-ed pieces, and social media tips, all necessary to highlight the very important stories of success they will have regarding workers, contractors, community alliances, and outreach programs. Some of the messages we will be using during this week will include the focus on one generation teaching the next generation, a significant focus on diversity and reaching out to communities of color, women, underrepresented communities, as well as veterans. Another significant message will be a highlight on our Helmets to Hard Hats program and other similar programs like the United Association's VIP program, which reaches out to returning military veterans and offers them opportunities through registered apprenticeship programs. In addition, our national leadership here, our officers, will be highlighting our investment in our successful stories by reaching out to national media markets, hopefully placing some important op-ed pieces in national publications. Through all of these efforts, we hope the word gets out that apprenticeship works, and it's the first step on the ladder to the middle class. So let's build a movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sonia. I really appreciate that. We're excited about all those open houses and can't wait to attend one of those. Connie, you've been doing exciting work in Oregon. You've been, on our advisory committee, for a number of years. Tell us a little bit about what Oregon Tradeswomen does, and what are your plans for National Apprenticeship Week?
Great, thank you. Well, thank you for the opportunity to share our exciting plans with your audience. And I also want to thank the White House, the Department of Labor, and the Office of Apprenticeship for the amazing efforts you're putting into creating a national event that is going to just bring the attention of apprenticeship to a much, much broader audience. And it's really exciting to be part of promoting this event. I'm the Executive Director of Oregon Tradeswomen, and we are an organization that promotes the success of women in the trades through education, leadership, and mentorship. We have about 2,000 women and girls who come in our doors annually to learn all about trades careers. And by trades, I mean the building, construction, utility, and manufacturing, transportation trades, all the blue-collar professions that are the ticket to the middle class. And we graduate about 85 women annually from our pre-apprenticeship program for women and place about 75 of them in the trades, the majority of them in registered apprenticeship. So we have an exciting roster of events planned. We are asking Oregon's governor and Portland's mayor to proclaim November 4th as Women in Apprenticeship Day. We will be hosting an event on November 4th at the Sheet Metal Apprenticeship Institute, and this is a labor partner that has been working with us for many years to help us educate women about careers in the sheet metal industry. And over the years, we've had about 30 of our pre-apprenticeship graduates become sheet metal apprentices. So we will, our current class of women pre-apprenticeship students will be visiting the Sheet Metal Training Center that day. We'll have the Labor Commissioner provide remarks, and then the Governor's Workforce Policy Advisor will read the proclamation from the Governor. We'll have lead staff on Oregon's American Apprenticeship Initiative grant. We were lucky to be awarded $3 million, the Oregon Apprenticeship Initiative in Manufacturing, and so it'll be an opportunity to say a few words about that initiative, which we're really excited about that award. Then we'll have speakers from our graduates, our pre-apprenticeship graduates, who will be in school at the Institute that day, say a few words about their experience moving from the low-wage work that they've been in into pre-apprenticeship and then into registered apprenticeship. We're also writing a blog about women in registered apprenticeship featuring stories, and we will be doing a trades career information session open to the public to provide a great deal more information about the wide variety of incredibly amazing and exciting blue-collar professions, the majority of which also are apprenticeable trades. So it's going to be exciting. We're really looking forward to it. And I'm also part of a network called the Task Force on Tradeswomen's Issues around the country that are planning other events to showcase the enthusiasm with which women enter and succeed in apprenticeship. Thank you.
That's great, Connie. It's really neat to hear about your event. You know, one of the things that we're hearing is, you know, apprentices always steal the show at the event. So, you know, it's great to hear that you're going to have some great women being up there and stealing the show on apprenticeship.
Thank you.
So, Richard, you know, you guys are real innovators in this space, really kind of connecting the education component of apprenticeship, really creating that pipeline of young people to get connected with apprenticeship. Tell us a little bit about some of the innovations that are happening down in Central Piedmont.
Okay, thank you very much, and it's an honor for CPCC to be invited to talk a little bit about our tools we have to understand and how we evolved our, I refer to them as work-based learning opportunities, of which apprenticeship is one. I need to explain that one reason why we're so successful is it's because of the business community that we're serving. We are happening to be the fastest growing exporter in the United States, and a lot of that is based because of manufacturing, and we sort of have a manufacturing renaissance here in the greater Charlotte region. And in addition, Charlotte-Mecklenburg is a state out of Germany. That's where we adopted that name many, many years ago. We have over 200 German companies. And then if you add the Swiss and the Austrians to it, we have about close to 18,000 people that are their workforce that understand what apprenticeship is. And the apprenticeship movement really started in Charlotte in 1995 under the leadership with companies like Detweiler and Bloom. These are sort of the Mittelstand companies. And it mainly started with the CNC machining and mechatronics. We have currently about 128 graduates, and we have about 51 active apprentices. And out of this movement, we started realizing that there is a need to cover skills gap and to start a talent pipeline. But it's not just for high school students, it's for incumbent workforce, and it's for returning veterans. And so we started a movement called Apprenticeship Charlotte, which is a more customized apprenticeship version for especially American companies. But also some other companies that need a little more flexibility because they're shorter or they are based on certificates. And companies like Bosch, Rexroth, Daimler, Harvey, Muratec, Siemens are now also involved in apprenticeship Charlotte. We also have a Cummings apprenticeship program where we train young individuals nationwide. They come to CPCC. They're staying in an embassy suite for about 8 weeks and rotate them a cohort of about 25 students. And that is a very successful initiative as well. The interesting thing that we have started this year, a couple of months ago, we are starting a pre-apprenticeship program and have now created a partnership with Carolina's Association of General Contractors to create a registered pre-apprenticeship program exclusive for this organization. Now, some of the events that we are scheduled for the week November 2 to 6, like many people mentioned, we're going to write an op-ed for our regional newspapers. We have a breakfast at the Chamber of Commerce where we have different business partners talk about apprenticeship. The mayor and the county commission are going to read a proclamation, and we will also have a partnership meeting with our organizations from the city, from the Mecklenburg, Charlotte Works, and Goodwill, and so we are going to celebrate that week as well.
Richard, that sounds great. You know, really good to get business people out talking to other business people at breakfast. Those are fantastic ideas. Speaking of food, we've got Campbell Soup and Pepperidge Farms on the line. So we've got Jennifer Lanham. You know, Pepperidge Farms is probably most well known for goldfish crackers, but we want them to be known for apprenticeship. Tell us a little bit about how you're going to celebrate apprenticeship this week.
Yes, thank you all so much for this effort and allowing us to be part of this. And we, Campbell Soup, Pepperidge Farm, we're working to become a high-performance culture across our entire organization. And of course, this includes, a big part of this is our plant, our frontline associates. And moving to this high-performance environment, we really need a workforce that's flexible, involved in decision-making, problem-solving, being self-directed. And so we saw apprenticeship as a way to create a standard process for training and upskilling our associates across our manufacturing network, and to really help to drive that high-performance culture we're striving to create. So we're using this our apprenticeship program to provide our employees with the skills to be able to operate, lead, and maintain their areas of responsibility, create career pathways and future opportunities for them that they may not have been there before. So we're using this for our current employees as well as bringing in new associates as well. And as we've gone through this process, we have made tremendous effort as far as partnering with local schools, community colleges, and such. And actually, and this is why I asked Channing Jones to be here with me, because he's been a tremendous leader on this front and supporting us in this effort across our company. So Channing, if you'll talk about the things that we're doing.
Absolutely. Good afternoon to everyone, and really want to thank, again, Department of Labor and Office of Apprenticeship for inviting us to participate on this great initiative and this inaugural initiative. And so as Jennifer was commenting, the impetus was to invest in their greatest asset, which is their employees. And through the model that current company is using through their high-performance organization to create a foundational level of competencies throughout their company, and not just their company with Pepperidge, but also Campbell Soup and Silgan. We've created this model, and the model of apprenticeship will essentially evolve around a certified production technologist certification. This particular certification is vetted, as many apprenticeships are, with industry standards that are qualified on work-based learning. These are the type of things that the companies value, and obviously these are the trainings that Robinson Community College and the corresponding community college in Ohio and Illinois value. So we've partnered with the Huron County Workforce Development Board in Ohio that would serve a Pepperidge farm location there, where we would run several of these classes that would be tied into the apprenticeship through the Erie Huron Ottawa Vocational Educational Center there in Willard, Ohio. Our second location is in DuPage, Illinois, and we have, as Secretary Eric Sillinger recommended earlier, we've really reached out to our workforce development boards and trying to get them involved in this process to make sure we have buy-in from multiple partners in multiple arenas to really reinforce the value added in apprenticeship. And then lastly is our Maxton, North Carolina Campbell Soup location, and we're partnering with our Lumber River Workforce Development Board there and also Robinson Community College. We are, again, planning to put together a certified technologist position in apprenticeship through the National Organization of Manufacturer Skills Standards and Council. With this certification, again, we'll create the foundational units that Campbell Soup's, Pepperidge, and Silgan value within their organization. But throughout that process, and we have a 2-day event scheduled with a continental breakfast where we're inviting industry partners to come in, especially the heads of those organizations, your CEOs, and at least your chief operational officers, to make sure that they understand the value of apprenticeship, not only in the organizations that we're marketing right now through the DOL, but additional industry participants, so that we can create an organization of apprenticeship. We have several lecture speakers from industry and from the training institutions. We will have open houses where students and incumbent workers at these locations can come in and see and touch and feel the types of trainings that they're going to be exposed to. We're in North Carolina. We're very fortunate that we have a bionetwork center that has several types of STEM buses and trailers that come in. They're going to participate in our event so that we help in the science, technology, and engineering, mathematics. We know all on the phone call how important those are. They'll be visiting sites and the community colleges to showcase the various types of trainings, and especially with our food manufacturers in respect to aseptic training. On day 2, we're going to have additional lecture series for our students that are participating in apprenticeship at currently the Campbell's organization. They'll come back and they're going to speak to various leaders within the respective communities, and also additional tours that day. We also have a local initiative called Robinson Works, which is a team and a collaboration of several industry partners here who are having trouble getting meeting some of the skills gaps, especially as it pertains to mechatronics. And so we've tied that group into this particular week of apprenticeship to motivate them and to start asking the right questions about how we meet these skills gaps. We've partnered also with our Chamber of Commerce's throughout the respective states so that they'll be participatory, along with civic organizations such as the Rotarians and others, and they'll be coming to the Chamber of Commerce's. We're going to have a dinner and have just a nice meet and greet for everybody. But those are some of our activities coming up for the week of November 4th. We're very excited about it. On behalf of Robinson Community College and others, we just want to thank everybody for participating. And Campbell Soup wanted me to remind you that coming into the winter months that their product is still very good. I hope I said that right.
That's great. I'm hungry now and ready for Apprenticeship Week as well. Well, it's great to hear about these great, these earn and learn partnerships that happen between companies and with community colleges, really creating that pipeline for our future workforce. Let's get into a little bit about some of the tools and resources we have for you. We don't want you guys to do it alone. We want you guys to partner up with us and really advertise some of the things that you're doing. And so we have a new website that you can find actually off of our main website. If you haven't been to our main website, we've updated it, www.dol.gov. And off of that, you can find all the resources you need for National Apprenticeship Week. So we have a variety of tools, places to find when you want to go to events. You can find those on our websites. You can promote your own events on our website. And we also are going to be posting National Apprenticeship Week proclamations. So we know lots of cities and states are going to be doing those proclamations. We're excited about those. So this is your main website where you're going to find things that are happening nationally, in your own state and even your local area to get those resources that you need. And, check back on a weekly basis because we're going to continue to update this. There's going to be more exciting events and opportunities to engage. So please check that website. One of the things that we really want to promote is we want to promote your event, and this we have a variety of different ways that, we want you to think about how you want to engage. We want you to be really creative. Think about ways in which you can be deliberate, but also, innovative in the way you're showcasing the best in apprenticeship. So, whether it's, the ways in which Pepperidge Farms and Robeson Community Colleges are doing open houses to invite the public in, to invite officials in, or if you're going to do an apprenticeship signing day. Apprenticeship Carolina does this in South Carolina really well. They sign up their apprentices like it's the NFL draft, and all their parents are in the audience applauding. Really some cool stuff. So think about, if that's an opportunity. If you're a company and you're willing to make a commitment around apprenticeship, if it's a new industry, or if you're going to sign on new apprentices, we want to hear about that. If you're going to hold a skills competition, whether it's you're doing 3D design or doing welding or driving a big rig, make sure you're safe, not doing any drag racing, but please hit us up and let us know if you're doing one of those skills competitions. We also want you to blog about your event or provide it on social media. So team up with us if you have a blog, and we'll get it posted up on our website. A lot of folks are doing graduations. So, we know Maine is going to hold an apprenticeship graduation for their new nursing class. So it's a great way to highlight, your apprentices because, they always steal the show. And dream up your wildest event. So whatever you think you want to do, within reason, but to promote the value of apprenticeship, we want you to do that. So come back to our website, see what those current events are, and we'll post them up on the website and make sure that other folks know how to attend your event. So, it's a great way for press to know, for government officials to know about what's happening in your area. We have a lot of event kit materials as well. You can always hit us up at apprenticeship.usa@dol.gov if you need any information, but you can download an agenda. You can find an invitation to give to your guests, get sample news releases, how to do an op-ed around apprenticeship, give you a couple ideas. You can also download our logos as well, whether it's the DOL logo or the Apprenticeship USA logo. Put those on your website. Put those on your materials. We want to really kind of spread the word about the value folks are finding with Apprenticeship USA. And one of our, just to showcase one of the things that we're doing is we have an agenda on our website. So this is just a sample, but be innovative, use to do your own apprenticeship event, So maybe you start out with apprentices talking about how they got their ticket to the middle class, or even have them demonstrate their skills with 3D printing or showing them how they provide value back to the company. And really the sky's the limit here, so be creative and let the world know what you're doing during the week and how you're elevating apprenticeships. I think I'm going to turn it over to some new voices. So I want to introduce my colleagues Sierra Mitchell and Rachel David to talk a little bit more about what you're doing in your home state.
Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. Now that you've heard from some of our many awesome leaders on some of their ideas and their activities during National Apprenticeship Week, and you've heard some great tips and resources, we'd like to hear from you and open it up for you to share a few unique and great ideas that you have. And while we wait for you all to work with the operator to key up some of those events, we just want to quickly highlight some of the events that we've heard of already, starting with the exciting things happening in our states.
So as mentioned prior, we have a few proclamations that are coming out through from the states. So Arizona has already issued a proclamation, and some of the other states who are joining along will be California, Wisconsin, Massachusetts, Maryland. We're really excited about those states, and some cities as well will be doing some proclamations, as well as the federal. Oops. Was I supposed to say that? as well as the Presidential Proclamation, which should be coming out the week, first day of National Apprenticeship Week, along with one from the Senate as well. And some of the other events that are happening that our leaders have put on our website include events from, I'm going to pick one out here, from Dartmouth Hitchcock, who will be doing a few events during National Apprenticeship Week. And I just want to highlight one of the targeted ones towards youth. And I think this is great. They're going to be doing an educator open house, which will invite employment counselors, guidance counselors, and other educators who will come through and observe the pre-apprenticeship classroom and give opportunities to students to shadow apprentices in the workplace, and then encourage and kind of build out the message on apprenticeship, which I think is a great opportunity.
And one more that I want to highlight that I think is a great example of how our leaders are not only working together and working with other leaders, but for example, the Central Illinois Center of Excellence for Secure Software in Peoria, Illinois, is going to be hosting several National Apprenticeship Week events each day of National Apprenticeship Week in collaboration with other Apprenticeship USA leaders, such as the Illinois Central College. And so, for example, on November 2nd, they plan to bring other employers together, such as Caterpillar, Facet Technologies, and ISHB Information Technologies, along with students who are in the First in the Nation Associate of Applied Science and Secure Software Development degree program to participate in a job fair format. So again, this is just a few of many examples of how leaders and other organizations are working together to make this week a success. And now I think we're going to hear from, looks like Stacy Rose from Kroger would like to share an idea. So Stacy, are you available?
Operator, can you assist opening up Stacy's line?
Stacy, if you could please press *0 on your touch-tone phone, and I can go ahead and open up your line. Again, Stacy, please press *0.
Okay, it looks like Stacy's not available at the moment. Operator, is there anyone else who would like to share?
I do have Stacy's line open now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Stacy, please check the mute button on your phone.
It looks like Edison Freer would like to share an idea. Operator, is Edison Freer available?
I do not have anybody's name due to the way that they entered into conference, but if you would like to queue up for a question, please press *1, unmute your phone, and record your name. And that way I can introduce you by your name. Again, that's *1, unmute your phone, and record your name, and it will take just a few moments for any of those to queue up.
So while we're doing that, we have had a couple questions come in through the chat line. One person asked about highlighting veterans and their access to the GI Bill through apprenticeship programs, and that's a fantastic idea. I think there's lots of opportunity to host events centered around transitioning service members into apprenticeship programs. So that's a great idea. We really encourage that. We have some great resources up on our website on that as well. There's also a question around targeting people with disabilities for apprenticeship programs. I think that's another great area where people could think about events and activities around supporting individuals with disabilities and their access to apprenticeship programs. Operator, do we have any lines open?
I do. Kathleen, your line is now open.
Thank you. This is Kathleen Culhane from Non-Traditional Employment for Women, or NEW, in New York City. And we are hosting during Apprenticeship Week on Friday, November 6th at the World Trade Center, a forum titled Advancing Women in the Trades, Building on Success, targeting apprenticeship programs, pre-apprenticeship programs in the building trades and beyond, along with other tradeswomen and folks within our community.
That's great. We love to hear those events that are really creating opportunities for women and for others to get engaged in apprenticeship. Operator, do we have anyone else that'd like to make a comment?
I do. Jennifer, your line is open.
Hi, this is Jennifer at Westover Job Corps in Massachusetts, and I'm just wondering if anyone can give us an idea of a website to get the state listings of apprenticeships on a state-by-state basis.
So you can get some of that information from our website. At the bottom of the DOL.gov apprenticeship, there's a link to our database. That covers most of the apprenticeship programs that are in states that are managed by U.S. Department of Labor. The other 25 states, often you have to go to their individual websites to get that information.
Great. Operator, do we have any other questions? We'll take one more.
I do. Our last one comes from Edison. Your line is open.
Good afternoon. This is Edison Frater from Philadelphia, representing.
Hi, Edison. How are you?
All right. The Urban Technology Project. So in terms of trying to highlight the apprenticeship as a great way to create inclusion and diversity in the workforce, we're trying to work with local papers that cater to those communities and highlighting a Latino apprentice in the Spanish media. We have a Chinese apprentice who's very fluent Chinese, who will also be speaking to the local Chinese media. So I thought that, you know, this is an opportunity to reach out to communities and that can showcase that apprenticeship is for everyone, including immigrants.
That's great, Edison. Really glad to hear, you know, we're going to have that theme loud and clear about how apprenticeship is for everyone, and we really want to promote that across the country. So look for more hearing from you and from across the country on the diversity, on Diversity Day during National Apprenticeship Week. Well, we'll go ahead and move on. Want to talk a little bit about our Twitter campaign. If we could do the next slide, please. Next slide, please. So the new Twitter campaign, we're really excited about this campaign. It's one of the ways that you can get engaged in social media. And the Twitter campaign, we have two hashtags. One is NAW 2015, National Apprenticeship Week, of course. And the other one is hashtag Apprenticeship Works. So this will kind of gather all of your events in one spot, you know, on Twitter, and we'll be promoting it across other mediums of social media. But one thing that we really want to promote is to take pictures of yourself with a sign that's saying apprenticeship works for women, apprenticeship works for companies, apprenticeship works for labor unions, and apprenticeship works for everybody. So this is really an idea that you can kind of promote your event on Twitter. Plus, we also offer the opportunity to send your photos, videos, and everything else that you might have capturing your Apprenticeship Week events at apprenticeship.usa@dol.gov, and we'll be sharing those around as we go forward.
And we just want to highlight that you will be able to download that sign on our website pretty soon, probably after this webinar. So you can go ahead and just download that from our site, print it out, and take your photos and definitely send them in.
And we're really looking for people to get creative out there. We love to have lots of different ways for people to express how apprenticeship works for them. So be creative, and we'll be highlighting those great signs and photos as they come in. All right, so we want to wrap up here. We're coming to the top of the hour. Just quickly with some other tips and reminders. As Zach mentioned earlier, when you're seeking media coverage for your activities, just remember that people love a story and they love a face to associate with that story. So your apprentices are really your best messengers, and be thinking about who you'd want to highlight and who would be a good spokesperson for your program. So it's always great to remember that. We also want people to think about inviting their elected officials to participate in these events. We don't have our colleague here from Congressional Affairs, but they asked us to remind people that often members of Congress are in their home districts on Mondays and Fridays, and I think particularly during this week they're expecting people to be there on Monday. So that's a great day to think about events that would feature and showcase members of Congress. We have a URL there for helping you to find who your member of Congress is, and if folks have questions or need help, Dan Zeitlin in our Congressional Affairs Office has graciously offered to be available for assistance. Okay. So we'll wrap up here real quickly. Just a quick recap. Again, the first ever National Apprenticeship Week will kick off the week of November 2nd. So many folks around the country, apprenticeship leaders, existing apprenticeship program sponsors have already made commitments. You can go to our website right now and download a list of those commitments on the website. Really encourage everybody to please share your event at the website listed. We really would like to be able to rack up the number of events happening across the country, share those events, and if we can, we'll certainly do our part on this end to see if we can send out people from DC, from across the administration, to participate in your event. So that's really where we're going to be able to track those, make them sound as exciting as possible, so that we can build that interest in your events. Again, we have all these resources available online, and at the end of the day, we really hope that you'll join this movement and showcase your apprenticeship program, both in your community and across the nation. So with that, we'll take any final questions that folks might have. I know we only have a minute or so here, but operator, could you see if we have any final questions? And we'll go to the final slide here. We'll also put up our email address where you can send in any other questions or ideas to apprenticeship.usa@dol.gov.
As a reminder, if you would like to ask a question, please press *1, unmute your phone, and record your name. I do show one question in queue. Bill, your line is open.
Hi, this is Bill Peterson from UAW.
Hey, Bill.
How you doing? We're going to be coordinating some stuff with Delta College and McCulloch Community College, one on November 2nd, the other one on November 4th. There'll be the Department of Labor folks there, community college folks, UAW folks, and some of our leaders in the program will be sponsoring that. If you do have somebody that's already done a proclamation, I mean, we're really busy right now in negotiations, so if somebody's got a proclamation that I don't have to rewrite, it'd be good to have that. I can pass on to our top leadership and get that going. But we're going to get the information out to the locals across the country, and hopefully we can get a whole lot more participation. Plus, hopefully GM, Ford, and Chrysler all have training centers. We can do something there. Hopefully, if negotiations are done.
Yeah, fantastic. And yeah, we can send those to you, and that'll also be another resource we'll be adding to the toolkit, and another reason for people to come back to that website, because we'll be adding additional resources as we move forward. But again, we want to kind of wrap up here and respect everybody's time. Again, we really hope people are excited about the opportunity, and please share your event with us so that we can share it with the country and spread the news. So thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate everyone's participation, and we look forward to seeing all those great Apprenticeship Is signs on our Twitter campaign. So happy National Apprenticeship Week, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you all.
This does conclude today's conference call. We thank you for your participation, and you may disconnect at this time.